Hey guys, just checking in, making sure everybody can hear me, hear the guitar, hear my vocals. If you can, just let us know in the comments. That would be great. Everybody hear me okay? Is that audio okay, guys? It is on my side. Yes, well, good. Cool. Nice. Hello, hello, hello. So how is everybody doing today? Who have we got about? Let's bring... all right. So, where is everybody from? We've got Canada. We've got Berlin, Brazil. Oh, we've got Jim. First time attending a club event. Amazing. Great to see you here, buddy. More Canada, UK, Sacramento. No better way to spend an hour on Thursday morning than with Justin Guitar friends. I couldn't agree more. Greetings from Germany, Greece, Canada, UAE. I'm not sure where that is. I think it might be a place. I'm not sure. Anyway, all right then, guys. Great to have you all here. So first of all, I'm just going to introduce you to myself. Just those of you that have not been on a live club before. So my name is Lee, and I run these beginner clubs for Justin. So the goal of these beginner clubs is to teach grades 1 to 3 on the Justin program some cool music. So when I say music, I mean a song. So the objective of these clubs is for, in each club, we learn a brand new song, essentially, from start to finish. Okay, so as you know, we're going to be doing Free Fallin' today by Tom Petty. Now I did bring up, you might hear my cat meowing. She might want to come in. She's kind of like semi-famous in these sessions because she's such a pain in the butt sometimes. When you say it. All right. So I did bring up some, as usual, some interesting facts about this song. 5 interesting facts about this song. I got them off the internet, so they might be true. Hopefully they are, but maybe not. So what's this first one here? Interesting fact number 1. Tom Petty started the song by ad-libbing lyrics to amuse Jeff Lynne. Lynne suggested the word free falling, which led to Petty to sing Free Fallin'. Petty says they knocked out the idea quickly and finished it that night. So as a lot of kind of classic hits, it was written super quick. So it says, then it came pretty fast. Petty and Lynne wrote and recorded Free Fallin' in just 2 days, apparently. And it was the first track they cut for what became Full Moon Fever. So that dreamy sound is layered acoustics. Petty said they tracked a multitude of acoustic guitars, including a Nashville-tuned guitar. Bounced them down for a big shimmer. The basic track began to a drum machine, and drummer Phil Jones overdubbed his part later. So US chart stats, Free Fallin' debuted on the Billboard Hot 100 at number 72, November the 4th, 1989, and peaked at number 7 on January the 27th, 1990. Cool. All right then, guys. So let's jump into the song. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to bring up the first slide for you to take a little look at. So Free Fallin' then, we're going to be playing in 4/4 time, which means 4 beats per bar or 4 beats per measure. The tempo is 84 BPM. Key is going to be F major, but we're going to be adding a capo on fret number 1, 2, 3, and we're going to be thinking in the key of D major. So we're going to be using the chord shapes, that you would use if you're playing in D major in open position here, okay? So we're going to be thinking in D major. So just for those of you that don't know, as usual, what do we mean? Well, I've explained what we mean by 4/4 time. Tempo, that's one thing that we've not talked about. So what do we mean by tempo? I know it's probably an obvious question for those that know, but some people don't know what that means. So the tempo to a song, anyone know what that means? Isabella, if you don't have a capo, it's fine. You can just play along without the capo. It won't be kind of in the same key as myself, but you can still do it, okay? So tempo, what does it mean? Anyone know? Anyone want to add something in the chat? So tempo, yep, speed. So tempo basically means the speed, all right? So if you've got a metronome and you set it to 84 BPM, you'll hear how fast we need to play this song. All right, so next up then, let's take a little look at some of the theory behind what's going on. So the song is in the key of, we're going to be thinking in the key of D major, right? It's in the key of F major, but we're going to be thinking in the key of D major. And we've only got 3 chords throughout the whole song, all right? Those chords are, I'll show you quickly first. On this page here, we've got a D chord, a G sus2 chord, and we've got an A sus4. Now, there's 2 ways you can play that A sus4, which I'll come to in a second. But just to go back a second to the key of D major here, you'll see that the D chord that we play is the first chord in the key. So for those of you that don't know, a key of music is essentially it's just a group of 7 notes, okay? And those 7 notes then harmonize into 7 chords. So you see that little box on the top just here. We've got notes, D major scale on the top. We've got D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp. Then the chord numbers underneath, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then we've got the actual chords that appear in the key. We've got a D, E minor, F sharp minor, G, A, B minor, and a C sharp minor. And then within any of those chords there we can add extensions just to kind of make the chords just sound a little bit more interesting. And in this song, that's done by changing the G to a G sus2 and changing the A to an A sus4. All right, so I won't go too deeply into this. I'll just try and kind of talk a tiny bit about it. But if you're interested in the theory, don't forget Justin's got a theory course that is really, really well put together. So for those of you that know a little bit of theory, then you're going to know that in a major chord, we've got notes 1, 3, and 5. In the minor chords, we'll be using notes 1, flat 3, and 5. And then underneath that, I've got major chord and major chord again. So they're typos, sorry. That was meant to be a sus2 chord. Go on then. A sus2 chord, which is a 1, 2, and a 5. And a sus4 chord, which is a 1, 4, and a 5. So you just see that you basically, the difference between a major chord, 1, 3, and 5, and a sus chord, if it's sus2, you change the 3 to a 2, and if it's a major chord, you change, if it's a sus4 chord, you change the 3 to a 4, okay? Now, if you want to, if you find these, this sus2 and this sus4 tricky, you can just use a regular G and a regular A, and it still kind of works as well. You don't get the same kind of vibe, but it does kind of work as well. Okay, so any questions on that, just let me know, and I'll cover it for you. But for now, let's move on and let's check out the chords. All right, so the first chord that we got is a D. Now, if you look at the chord box that we've got there, on the open strings, I've got an X, a triangle, and a circle. So the X pretty much means that you don't hit that string. The circle means you hit that string open. Now, I often then put a triangle down for a string where you can hit it if you want, or if you don't want to hit it, you don't have to. So it's optional, essentially, okay? So the first chord then is going to be a D here. So hopefully we all know that. All right. Okay. Then the next chord we've got is a G sus2 chord. Now, if you look at fingers 1 and 3, here and here, on the D chord, they're in the exact same spot as they are for the G sus2. Okay, so I'll try and come in a little bit closer here so you can see. And I'm going to maybe change that view a little bit so that it looks a bit more like that. Okay, so the D is going to be here. Now, when we change to the G sus2, all right, I'm going to leave fingers 1 and 3 down. I'm going to take the second finger, take it off. Then I'm going to raise the second finger slowly in midair up to this note here. When I bring it up here, I then want to place it down, and then I'm going to place the pinky just there. So it's a G. If I was to take this finger off, it's a G, right? But with this one down, this is what makes it the G sus2. Now, this finger here is playing fret 3 on the E string, but it's muting the A string just below it. So it sounds like that. Now, if I take this off here, it's a regular G, I add this here, and that's my G sus2. All right. Okay, so next chord then is A sus4. So let's just go back to the D a second, okay? All right, so the A sus4 then, you'll notice again, we've got 2 variations here. So I'll just zoom into that so you can see them. So if you've downloaded the PDF that came with the introduction email, you should be able to fill these in yourself, okay? Now they're the same kind of, exactly the same chord, but you can just change the fingering slightly. So the third finger is going to stay just here. All right. Now we can, first variation, which I'm going to recommend, is we keep first finger down there, and then we just take this second finger here and move it up just fret 2 on the D string there. Okay, so it's coming from down here, just up on there, just like that. And then if you look at the notes that we need to strum, we're not going to hit the low E string here, so we're just going to strum the highest 5 strings there. Okay, so we'll just bring this second finger back off, take it back down to here, back on that D, and then we'll just try that again. We just move the one finger up there, sorry, just there. And then we'll move it back down to the D. Now we'll try second variation. So second variation, we're going to keep third finger there again, but we're going to take finger 1 and finger 2 up. And then we're going to place finger 1 on fret 2 of the D, finger 2 on fret 2 on the G. Okay? So that's kind of viable as well. We'll go back to the D. But if you do that, you kind of got to move 2 fingers. So maybe it's a little bit fiddlier. Also, if you do variation 1 here, and then you move second finger just here, okay, then you're going to get the third finger and the first finger ringing out as you make the change, which sound quite nice. So you can choose any version though, they both sound great. So choose what works best for you. Okay, so they're the chords there. So if I just pop over onto the next slide here, make that a little bit bigger. Susie, no. My cat, no. You've got food, you've got everything, you're fine. Okay, so just close that door a second. All right, so the chord progression we've got then, the order in which the chords appear in the song is we've got a D, then we've got this G sus2, then we go back to a D, then we go to the A sus4. So we're going to do a little bit of chord practice now just to get those changes into play. Now if you've not done like the regular G, the regular D to a G, a G and D to an A, you can still play those chords. So I could play so that's using just plain old D, G, D and A. So you can use those if you want. So what we're going to do now, we're going to do a little bit of practice between each of the chords that we've got on the page. So this is what I want you to do, okay? We're going to strum the D, and then we're going to change between two chords whilst one, holding the anchor, okay? So the anchor fingers here, we've got finger 1 and finger 3. So we're going to make sure we hold those down. We want those notes to continually ring out because they sound really nice. Then we're going to move second finger. Let's come into a bit closer, actually. Then we're going to move second finger. Actually, let's come in even closer. Let's try that. Then we're going to move the second finger off, and then we're going to move it up to the top like we did earlier. Now what I want you to try to do, I want you to try and get the second finger hovering above the low E string, whilst at the same time having the pinky hovering above the high E, because we want those two fingers there, if possible, to go down at the same time. All right? So again, we're holding fingers 1 and finger 3 as anchors. I'm going to take the second finger up, I'm going to hover it, and then my pinky might be doing something crazy here. It often does, and they both kind of move around, but do your best just to try to get it hovering above the string, and then bring them both down at the same time. And then from there, we continue to hold the anchors, bring 2 and 4 up at the same time, and then down at the same time. So we're just going to work this motion here, on and off, where fingers 2 and 4 just go on and off at the same time. Now it'll feel weird if you've never done it before. You might be kind of, to start with, you might kind of want to, or you might be inclined to go 1 and 1, but really kind of like give your fingers time in midair to try and find their feet. You know, most people, they put their fingers down so quick, you know, they don't give their fingers chance to really kind of make a shape in midair. You know, give yourself kind of 20, 30 seconds if you want. Okay, so we're just going to, again, touch both fingers at the same time. And then we'll just go back to the D. So going back to the D straight forward, just the one finger there. Okay, we'll try another change. So second finger comes up. Finger 1 and 2 stay down. Bring it up, hover. Make sure you get the shape. They might go crazy. Once you've got the shape, bring them both down at the same time. And then from there, just do a couple of light little 1 centimeter or 1 inch just movements on and off like this. Yeah, so if you haven't got a capo, just play it kind of up here. It's absolutely fine. And you know, if you play along with the actual song when you're up here, it won't kind of sound in the right key, but you can still play it. I often play it without a capo because it suits my voice better. But I'll just play it in the key of the song just for this session, all right? All right, so once you've got those little jumps on and off, we'll then bring them back down and back to the D. Okay, so now what we're going to do then is we'll go back to the slide here. Let's go to this one here. So now we're going to practice going from, we've done the D to the G sus2 and the G sus2 to the D. Now I'd recommend you practice these changes individually first of all, you know, in your own time after this session, get them nice and clean, okay? Before you kind of start adding all the strumming in, because the strumming is a little bit complex, but we'll get to that now. So we've done D to G sus2, we've gone G sus2 to D, so now let's try the D to the A sus4, all right? So just to remind you again, if you want to take a little look at that A sus4, it's that one there. So like I said, you can write this down, fill out the PDF that you've got. You should have just some blank chord boxes which you can just write in the numbers there. All right, so let's get back into a bit more of a close-up. So from this D here then, all right, we'll try variation 1 for this session. So first finger, third finger is going to stay there. Second finger comes up as usual. All right, now sometimes I find if you're kind of right up close behind the metal fret wires here, if you bring the second finger up, it doesn't kind of quite squeeze back here. Let's go there. So what you're going to need to do is maybe slide it back a tiny bit to make room just to get that second finger there. So the change might look a bit more like that. So if you do need to slide this back, just slide it back just enough to get this finger in, okay? So here we go. We'll strum the D here. All right, we'll take the second finger off and then just bring it up into here. Okay, so this is just one finger moving up and down. Maybe the first finger doing a little kind of little glide back and forth. That's all it is. So just work on that just like this. One finger down to the D, strum. One finger up to the A, says 4, and strum. Some people find this a little bit tricky here, getting the separation between those two fingers. That's totally normal to start with. Keep working the movements though, and hopefully, if you keep working the movement, that your fingers will develop to be able to do it. Okay, so let me just read some questions just to make sure everybody is all right with everything. Okay, let's have a look. I can see the cat. Yeah, the cat is still here. The cat doesn't leave my side that often. Okay, so yeah, A sus4 appears twice. Yeah, so there's two variations of that. You can play it in two different ways. Thanks, Justin. Yeah, just catching that up for me there. Brilliant. Well done. Thank you. Without capo, should I still play? Yep, answered that. So yeah, play it as regular. You can make a capo with a rubber band and a pencil. That's correct. I've never done it, but I've seen somebody do it. So if anybody's got any questions so far with anything that we've just gone through, guys, whether that be, you know, anything with the chords, how to play the chords, maybe a little bit of the theory stuff, although I don't want to go too deep into it because I know it can be a little bit, or any of that time, tempo, key. I think we're all right with most of it, but if there are any questions, just let me know and I'll cover it, okay? Cool. Okay, so this is the big one now for grades 1 to 3. So we're going to be doing 16th note strumming patterns. So I don't think you can see that there clearly. So I'm going to try to change the view that there. Hopefully you can see that in the top left corner of the PDF, we've got 16th note strumming practice. So I'm going to give you a couple of practice exercises just to start with, just to get you into the swing of strumming using 16th notes, not 8th notes, which you've probably done a lot of the 8th notes, not so much of the 16th, all right? So first of all, what do we mean by 16th note strumming? Does anyone know? 16th note strumming, as opposed to 8th note strumming. I don't expect everyone to know, but I reckon a couple of you might know. Okay. Yes, so well done, Trevor. 4 beats in count 1. So that's pretty much what we mean. So we know we're playing in 4/4 time, all right? So if you look at the patterns I've got there, yeah, well done, Jim, spot on. So 16 strums per bar. So if you look at the count, we've got basically 1 eander, 2 eander, 3 eander, 4 eander. Okay, so 4 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4. And each of those 4 beats are divided by 4 themselves. So all together in the bar, we've got 16 separate sections, all right, all evenly spaced out. And normally with 8th note strumming, we've just got 8. We'll only be playing the 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and, right? And we'd normally strum the 1, 2, 3 and 4 on the downbeat, on the down strum, sorry, and the ands on the up. So 8th note strumming then would be this normally, right? You'd have normally 1, 2, 3, 4. With the ands, you'd have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay? Which would give you 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. With 16th note strumming, that changes. So now we've got 16 beats per bar that we need to strum, okay? So if we look at the first little diagram, we've got count, and we're going to be strumming downs on the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So before, rather than going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, that's all going to be down strummed. So we'll get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you notice now, when I strum 16th notes, my hand is moving twice as fast as if I strum eighths, which would be 2 and 3. It's like twice as slow versus twice as fast. Now if I add the ups into that, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. All right. So what we're going to do to start with, we're just going to take pattern 1 there on the top, and we're just going to strum the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we're going to mute the strings with the left hand here. So I want you to touch the strings super gently, okay? No chords just for now. I like this exercise of muting the strings as well, because in order to mute these strings, you've got to like really lightly touch the strings. If you're a little bit heavy, you'll get that, okay? And if you lighten this hand and keep this one super relaxed, oftentimes this one stays relaxed. If you kind of feel this one getting heavy, then it's usually because you're tensing up in your playing. So it's a good indicator. If you hear everything's a little bit too tense, just stop, shake it out, come back on, nice and gentle on the strings, and 1, and get that nice little snappiness, okay? So I'm going to give us a count of 4, and then we're going to strum these 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and we're going to keep looping it, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's try that again, right after 4. So you notice when I'm counting in 1, 2, 3, 4, my hand is still moving on the 1 and 2, and it's just getting my groove ready. All right, so let's try that again, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Cool. All right, now what we're going to try and do then is add the E's and the As in practice number 2. Okay, so these ups now can always be a little bit fiddly. So for this song, I'm using the good old Dunlop nylon. This is a 0.46. It's super flexy. I just like the tone of it on these nylon strings, and it just gives you a nice little whip. If you've got a stiffer plectrum when you're trying to play this here, it can be trickier. Sounds heavier, but also you need a lot more control if you've got something quite stiff. So I'm going to advise you get the flexiest plectrum you can. I really like these 0.46 nylons. You can get like a 0.3 as well, but they're a little bit too thin for my taste. Okay, so let's try practice number 2. So it's going to be 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and with 1 down up down up down up down up down. Okay, let's give you a count in and we'll give it a go. Here we go, nice and light, muting the strings here, and I'm just going to get the hand going. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E, 3 E and a 4 E and a. Now when you start to kind of get the feel for a strumming pattern, you kind of want to stop counting it. Like you want to get out of that left brain kind of place and then just start hearing it and feeling it and letting it come out from that right brain, okay? So once you've got that, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, you'll have. All right, cool. So practice number 3 then, guys, is a combination between hitting 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and a. All right, it's going to be 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and a. notice my hand stays consistent at the same speed. We can slow that down a little bit. We can maybe try 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a. And I've got a metronome somewhere that it's hiding, where I could have give it a go at 84 BPM, but don't worry about that. All right, so let's try that one together, okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a. And when you start to feel it, just kind of play it and just try to feel it, all right? Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a. Cool. All right then. So let's start checking out the strumming patterns that you're going to come across in the song. So I'll go to this view here just for a second. So if you look at that there, we've got song strumming pattern 1, which is based on the intro. So now the strumming pattern, even though it's a 16th note strumming pattern, it kind of spans over the course of 2 bars. So it's kind of one way for bar 1, and then it's slightly different for bar 2. All right. So as you know, normally speaking, we might have when we're strumming something, we'll have the same strumming pattern for each bar. You'll have a strumming pattern for bar 1, a strumming pattern for bar 2, and it'll continue like that. So we need a specific strumming pattern for bar 1, and then a slightly different one for bar 2. But the cool thing is, after the intro, that's done, and then I'll just move on quickly. What I'm trying to say is, it's the same chord progression throughout the whole song. You just need 2 strumming patterns, each lasting 2 bars each. So you've got the same strumming pattern for the verse and the chorus, which we'll come across now, and we've got a slightly different one for the intro. So the intro is a little bit easier. The verse and the intro are a little bit fiddly. Once we've done those there, we'll just have a quick look at the song structure here, and then there's like a guitar solo-y bit, which I'll show you as well to finish off. Okay, so let's check out the intro first, all right? First of all, I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to bring up, let's see if I can bring that there. All right, so if you look at bar 1 then, right, you've got, in red on the top, you've got the chord. Underneath that, you've got the count, the 1 yander, 2 yander, 3 yander, 4 yander. Underneath that, you've got the strumming pattern, and it's just going to tell you where to strum, what part of the beat you're going to strum on. So the D is straightforward. It comes in on beat number 1, all right? So if I play my D here, and I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, straightforward, okay? But now, one of the tricky bits is that the G sus2 comes in on the AND beat after 2. Which is more unusual than not really. So you'd normally, you know, in a straightforward kind of chord progression song, you probably just have a D for the first bar and another chord for the second bar. Or if you had 2 chords in the same bar, you'd have a D on the first beat, and you'd have the G sus2 maybe on the 3rd beat. So this comes in on the AND after 2. So before we start strumming it, what I think we'll do is we'll just try to clap it in the right place, right? Just so you can get the feel of it, right? So you'll get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and, all right? Let's just go up to that 2 and, right? So first beat, 1 and 2 and, all right? Just try and get that in your head. Ready? 3, 4, 1 and 2 and. I'll count again from 3, okay? 3, 4, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and. And again, ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Try it one more time. Ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Once you've got that, we can then try and just mute the strings and try and get that strum without the chord changes, okay? So we could try 3, 4, 1 and 2 and. Let's try it again. All right, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So go to the end of the bar now, and we'll just keep the hand moving. That's the key thing, okay? So we're going to have 1 and we miss the 2, and then hit the and after 2 and miss the rest. So we want to keep this hand moving all the way. So it'll be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we can then maybe try the chord. Now you might need to just practice these chords, getting the changes right, using the ideas we spoke about a little bit earlier, where we just hover the fingers and get them both down together, okay? If we do put the strumming patterns in, if we do put the chords in, we're going to get this, right? We're going to get 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and again 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So this is the intro to, that's just first bar, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So this is the bar 2 then, right? So bar 2, we'll just jump straight to that, practice that, then we'll try and put them both together. So bar 2, we get the G sus2 on the first beat, D on the and beat that comes after 1. All right, so that's going to be a down again. So that's pretty straightforward. We've just got G, D, and then we've got the second beat, which we're just going to go strum. We're not going to hit the strings. We'll get G, D, miss. Okay, so G, D, miss, and then A on the next downbeat, which will be the and. So this bar so far we'll have G, G, D, miss, A. Let's try that a few times. Let's get that under the fingers, right? So G, D, miss, A. And again, G, D, miss, A. All right, and then we'll just count out the 3 and 4 and keeping the hand moving to get us to the end of the bar, okay? So let's start on that G. I'll give you a count from 3. 3, 4. I'll count through it this time, okay? So from 3 again. 3, 4. 3, 4. 1 and miss and 3 and 4 and. So it's going to sound, after a while, once you've counted it a few times, like I said, you start to kind of like hear it, and that's kind of where you want to go with it really, is hearing it and, So that's kind of where we want to go, right? So all together, it's probably going to seem too much in one hit, but you can kind of practice just the first bar, getting the right strums and the chords in the exact spots you need to put them, and the same for the second as well. So we'll try and put them both together now. I've got a feeling it's going to be a bit too much too soon to get that nailed, but we'll practice it, and then you can practice it at home as well, all right? So we're going to come in on the D, and don't forget we're going to have the 1 and 2 and, okay? So let's try that all together. I'll count from 3, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 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 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, back slower, and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and like I said, if you want to just try it with just plain old chords, D to G, and then G, D, A, you can do that too, okay? Okay, I'm just going to check out some comments, guys, just to make sure everyone is okay with what we're doing. So what acoustic guitar do you like the most? I've got two. So this is quite like a new addition, actually. So this is a classical guitar. It's a Yamaha GC3D from, I think it's like 1970. They're like not super expensive to get, but I wanted to get into like some classical playing. I did play a bit of classical guitar back early noughties, and I really enjoyed it, but then I kind of gave it up just to focus on the kind of contemporary stuff. And I just had an itch for playing it again, and I'm really enjoying it. Although it feels very different because the neck is like so wide, so you kind of got to play it differently when you're playing the classical stuff. But this has got a nice gentle tone. I think I can't really say which one I prefer. It depends on the day. Some days I might just enjoy some steel strings, some on the nylon string. But nylon string guitars, I love them. If you're somebody that kind of struggles with kind of getting all the notes to ring out, maybe you've got like bigger fingers and they can mute the strings underneath, you should definitely try out a nylon string, because the necks are so wide, there's plenty of space underneath the fingers. All right then, so what else have we got? Will this be available later, Justin? Yes, it will be. So as soon as the live stream finishes, it's instantly available on this YouTube channel, which is the JustinGuitar Community. So you should subscribe to this channel, and it'll be available under the live stream area as a recording. So from start to finish. Also, with the notes that I got here, I always share them after the session in the JustinGuitar.com community. So if you go to the website and sign up there, there'll be a thread where you can still ask me questions kind of after the session about this, that and the other. I'll share these notes, and it just helps you continue practicing the song. Okay, let's have a look. What else have we got? How do we know we are fast enough? Well, where's my metronome is the question. You can always try it out with a metronome. Maybe I can just bring up an online metronome. You know, I think one of my students accidentally took my metronome because he's got the same one as me. Okay, so 84 BPM. Hopefully you'll be able to hear this. I'll just play that. No, it's not going to work because I've got my kind of setup. Okay, so you could try a metronome to see if you're fast enough, or if not, just play the song, and you'll hear the changes very, very clearly. But don't worry about playing fast to start with. Just aim for like nice, clean, accurate chords, and kind of keeping the hand moving with the right hand. Just do that in a comfortable way. You can play this song. And 2 and 4 and. No, it might sound a bit cheesy, but like, just enjoy the chords, and don't worry about going too fast. You know, you could make your own cover, write your own cover, and play nice and slow. I wouldn't worry too much about speed, but if you want to test your speed, try it with the actual song. And if the song is a bit too quick on YouTube, if you're listening to the song, you can slow it down using the slowdown function there. So where can we download the resource sheets for the chords and strum patterns? You should have had a PDF with just kind of like blank chord boxes, blank strum sections, this, that, and the other. The idea is that you kind of like fill those out through the session, so you kind of get the notes that way. I just think it kind of hopefully gets you kind of more actively involved in the session, and writing these things down will kind of like help them stick more, etc., etc. But these materials will be uploaded. I'll send them in the WhatsApp group if you're part of that. If not, and you don't mind WhatsApp, you should join, because it's a great little area where I share kind of like bits and bobs regarding the club there. And it'll also be in the JustinGuitar Community forums as well, okay? So if you just search up Beginner Guitar Club, Free Fallin, you'll see something, a thread come up, and they'll be shared there as well. Okay, what else have we got here? I went through my emails and couldn't find that PDF. Did you sign up to the club, Sabine? If you signed up for this specific class, you should have got one. If not, that's a bit weird, and I'll check that out. Yeah, so Trev, you didn't have the PDF either. So if you signed up for this club, hopefully you got it. If not, yeah, I'll check it out. Writing stuff down helps with learning. Yeah, usually does. Writing stuff down is really, really good way of getting things to stick in your head. Okay, if you didn't get a PDF, don't worry too much about it. You can still get these kind of notes here anyway, okay? Okay, so that's going to be the intro strumming pattern there. Let's move on to this bit here, which is a little bit fiddlier. So now, one thing you're going to notice here, right? If you look at the location, look at the pattern on the top, look at the location of the D chord and the G sus2 chord, you're going to see that the D is on beat 1 and the G sus2 is on the and beat after 2, which is the same as what it is in the intro, right? So the chords are in the exact same locations for bar 1 and for bar 2. All right, so there's bar 2. Bar 1, sorry, there's the intro, bar 1 and 2, there's the verse chorus, bar 1 and 2. So the chords are in the same place. We're just going to add some additional up and down strums, okay? So the verse again was 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and. Now this one here, let's do this kind of like really bit by bit. So we're going to mute the strings again before we start adding the strumming pattern, so the chords, because it's going to be too overwhelming, right? So we're going to have, I'll play it first, right? Just the first half of bar 1. So it's going to be, okay. So we'll just get our, before, actually I should just get the beat first. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, okay, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So I'm only doing the 1 and 2 and I'm leaving from 3 onwards, just out from there. So I'll try that again. It's going to be 1 miss up down. Try that first, right? That's going to be 1, 1 2. Or you can think of it as, might make more sense to think of it like 1 miss up down, 1 miss up down, and then we'll put the and that comes in after the 2. So we'll get 1 miss up down down, okay, 1 miss up down down, and again 3 4, 1 miss up down down, 3 and 4 and 1 miss up down down. And then if you add the chords to that, we'll have, I'll play it for you first, 1 miss 1 miss 4 and 1 miss up down G, 1 miss up down So try that slower. 1, miss, up, down, G. And then once you've got that G, all right, so it gets a little bit fiddly. Let's maybe try and strum the whole first bar, just muting the string, right? So we've got the 1, miss, up, down, down, miss, up, down, 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 up. So that missed down strum on the beat 3 is going to throw you a little bit, right? I'm going to run it a few times though for a minute or two just to get you into the swing. I'm going to go for, I'm going to go 1, miss, up, down, down, miss, up, down. So I'm just going to go as far as the and after the 3. So that's going to be 1, miss, up, down, down, miss, up, down. Okay? 1, miss, up, down, down, miss, up, down. Try that again. 1, miss, up, down, down, miss, up, down. Just get that first. Down, miss, up, down, down, miss, up, down. And again. Down, miss, up, down, down, miss, up, down. So once this is recorded, you can take this back and just practice along like this, okay? So one more time. Down, miss, up, down, down, miss, up, down, 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 up. So I'm going to go right to the end of the bar now, okay? Nice and slow. Here we go. Down, miss, up, down, down, miss, up, down, 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 up. It's complex, right? It's a fiddly one. Okay, so if we try that with some chords, we're going to get D, down, D, down, miss, up, down, down, miss, up, down, 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 up. Slow that down. Down, miss, up, down, G, miss, up, down, 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 up. I'll try it again. Down, miss, up, down, G, miss, up, down, 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 up. That's a fiddly one, and you're going to probably need to work on that, I reckon. Muting the strings. Down, miss, up, down, down, miss, up, down, 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 up. One more time. Down, miss, up, down, down, miss, up, down, 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 up. I'd probably say this strumming pattern is probably a little bit above the grade 1 to 3, but stick with it because you can get it 100%. You can definitely get it. Okay, let's look at bar 2. So bar 2 is a little bit easier. If you look at the last part of the bar from number 3, it's exactly the same as bar 1, so we're fine there. Now, if you look at the first part of the bar from 1 until 3, we're going to be playing on the 1 and miss and. Okay? 1 and miss and. 1 and miss and. So that's going to be the 1 and 2 and, but we missed the 2, so I'll just call that miss, right? Then those chords there will be, starting on the G, G, D, miss, A. Let's slow that down. G, D, miss, A. All right. G, D, miss, A, miss, up, down, 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 up. Try that again. G, D, miss, A, miss, up, down, 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 up. One more time. G, D, miss, A, up, down, 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 up. All right then, so let's try and put all that together. I'm just conscious of the time, that's all. And I know I've got to get through this solo here. So, this is going to take some work, I know that, guys, but give it a go, okay? So we'll go from the start, and then we're going to go all the way to the end, and I'll see if I can just keep repeating it for you, okay? So start on the D, 3 and 4 and 1, miss, up, down, G, up, down, 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 up, down, D, miss, A, up, down, 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 up, D, up, down, G, miss, up, down, 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 up, G, D, miss, A, up, down, 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 up, D, up, down, G, miss, up, down, 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 up, G, D, miss, A, up, down, 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 up, D, up, down, G, miss, up, down, 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 up, G, D, miss, A. I'll keep going, a bit quicker. When you play this here, you don't have to like specifically strictly stick to these strumming patterns on here. They're just a guidepost for you. So long as you make sure that the chords change in this specific spots that I've got written there, you're fine. So when I play this song, I'm probably going to play it more. I don't even know what I strummed then. I just kept my hand moving and just hit the strings in places which just felt good. But I did make sure that the chords were in the right spots. And it doesn't matter if I hit loads of downs or not that many downs. Like I can kind of, I could play more, I could play more, sorry. Left a bit more space then with the hand moving. That can be a little bit tricky as well. So just use what you've got on there for now, I reckon, as a guidepost. And once you've got that solid, then you can kind of start to kind of like hit, you know, other beats in the bar whilst making sure the hand keeps moving, okay? Okay, so I'm just going to read couple of messages come through. My hardest thing is keeping my ring finger tight on the 3rd fret when I make the A sus4. Yeah, that's one thing, right? Don't forget your fingers, like any part of your body, they will improve from an athletic perspective. So when you're trying to, you know, make certain shapes with your fingers, whether that's stretching or you're squeezing with certain strength, that's the athletic side of the fingers. The more you work them, just like going to a gym, the stronger they're going to get. So keep at it and it will definitely get better for you, okay? All right. What else? Yeah, so, oh, thanks, Martin. Yeah, enjoy your food, buddy. Okay, the email has a link to download the PDF. It's not attached. Email is subject is Beginner Club 22. Cool. I prefer doing it by feel. Yeah, absolutely. If you can hear it, always kind of go for the kind of feel. If you can hear where it's meant to be, always go for that first, and just use kind of that, like the count if you need to. Like when I play it and I strum it, I'm not counting in my head at all. It's the last thing I want to be doing. But sometimes it just, you know, if you can't kind of feel it, it helps just to kind of count it and then kind of learn it that way and then start to feel it. Just when I'm on top of chords, along comes more advanced strumming. Oh, there's never ending, but that's what makes it fun. I'm learning this kind of classical guitar piece at the moment, which is so difficult, but it's great fun trying to do it. It's easier for me to understand with the song in my head compared. Yeah, if you can hear it, like I said, just go with that. That's the way to do it. So many musicians learn just by kind of feel. That's where you want to go. But, you know, if you do need to count, if you find yourself a little bit off and you're asking yourself why, sometimes it's good just to analyze and be like, oh, okay, it's because it's on that beat and I'm putting it on that beat. Thank you for your patience, kindness, and incredible amount of work in prepping this fairly complex song into something a beginner can challenge oneself with. Much appreciated. Oh, thanks, Ione. Thank you for that. Really fine teaching. Oh, thank you, Darwin. Okay, so guys, I'm going to really quickly, because I'm going to go over a little bit, but I'm just going to show you, we've got a song structure here. So if you want to start, right, if you want to try it with the music at a slower speed on YouTube, this is the song structure here. So we've got an intro, just guitars, and you play it two times through this, this chord progression here. Then verse 1 starts. This is where the singing comes in. You're going to play it through 4 times there. Then you get like this little bridge where the drums come in, just 1 time through the progression, and then verse 2 starts, and then all the instruments are in, the singing continues, and you play that 4 times through. Then the chorus part comes in where he's singing, where Tom starts singing I'm Free Fallin', 4 times through, pardon me, verse, same again, 4 times through, chorus 4 times through. Then you're going to hear like a little refrain section, so backing vocals on this here, and just guitar 4 times through. Then you'll hear verse 4. You know it's verse 4 because you'll hear these like these marching drums kind of thingy happening. Again 4 times through. Chorus 4 times through. Then there's a solo which you play through the chords twice, but then I'll show you what happens with the guitars there. And then chorus 4, you're going to be playing it 6 times through and it fades out. So if you want to play along, you just know it's going to be the same thing over and over essentially, but it's nice to kind of like hear that when certain things changes, because you might want to kind of bring the verse down a little bit, and when it goes into the chorus, bring it up a little bit, etc, etc. Okay, so guitar solo guys. So I've got 2 versions of it here. I've got capo on fret 3, easy version, which I've just kind of like just simplified, and the original. So the solo is basically, it's just power chords, right? So I'll play the original, I'll take the capo off. This is the only thing with the original, because it's more than 1 guitar. You can need to do it without the capo. And it starts off, if you don't know power chords, don't worry about this one. I'll show you the easy version in a second. But it goes, if I can remember, so that's power chords, F power chord here for 3 strums. Then we're going to wander up here, fret 6, then back. So don't worry too much about power chords unless you're a bit more advanced. Then you can jump into that there. But I'm going to pop the capo back on, and I think my guitar's probably going to go out of tune when I do, but it's fine. And then we're going to take a little look at how we can replicate that power chord solo in a more beginner-friendly package. So what we're going to do then, we're going to be playing on the D string. I'll see if I can just change that to a bit more like that. We're going to be playing on the D string here. Okay, we're going to play the open D 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to be placing first finger on fret 5 from the capo. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 just here. And we're going to be playing that. We'll just count them out from now. For now, right? We're going to play it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make sure that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So count 3. 1, 2, 3 open. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, it's 5. 1, 2. No, there's 6. If we're going to count it properly, we should probably count it as in. No, the only problem is here, I've kind of written that out in 4/4. It doesn't matter. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So 0 for 3, 5 for 6. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to play 0 for 2 after that. So let's try that. 3 zeros, 6 5s, 2 zeros. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. And then we're going to go up to fret 7 with finger 3 from the capo again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to play that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so that all together will be from the 0 3 times, Then we've got 6 times through number 5, 2 times on the 0, and then 5 times on the 7. So we'll have, here we go, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And after a while, you just start to feel that. Again, I'm not counting that. I can just hear it. If you listen to the solo as well, you'll hear when the changes come in. So I think once you know how many times to play it, as soon as you can start feeling it, I didn't count any of those numbers then. I just kind of knew when it was coming. So maybe start off just by counting the amount of times that you've got to play that there. And then as soon as you can feel it, then you can stop counting it. And if you take the capo off, it's basically exactly the same kind of count, but you just replace the zeros with the power chord on fret number 1 here. Then replace the number 5s with the power chord on 6 here, so you get. Then go back to number 1 here, which would be the same as 0, then up to number 8. So I think it's such a cool, like, solo-y bit, just power chords, right? Cool. All right then, guys. Thank you so much for staying around. I've gone over by 7 minutes. Apologies to those of you that were meant to be heading off sooner. Thank you so much for sticking around. Thanks again, everybody, for coming along. I hope you've learned something. Don't forget, this will be recorded, so you can go back to practice those tricky strumming patterns. And the materials will be on WhatsApp and in the JustinGuitar community as well. So thank you all again for coming along. Hope you enjoyed it. And next month, I think we're going to be looking at Let It Be by the Beatles. I'm pretty sure that's the next one. So hopefully I'll catch you all again then. All right. So take care, and I'll see you soon. All right. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.